So, do you want a bath? Do you want killer builds? Or do you want excellent choice. Let's get her digits. 35 attack and speed. That's amazing. Usually you have to choose between nuking and speed, and you don't have to do that with this. It's just amazing. I love it. And the defenses aren't too bad either. Let's go and check out what she swings with. The Museful Fire Posy. Wow, another good Altom on crack. It's amazing. It gives you a speed buff in addition to giving you +2 to all your abilities for whoever is within 2 of you. That is great. Only allies within 2. You're not getting help from your enemies. A little unfortunate. Maybe we need to share with them a little bit so they can understand how this works. Anyway, going down the list, she has a nice dual rally assist skill, and then her A slot is attack and speed bond. This is really great because it does cater to exactly what you need Tharja to have in order to actually be potent on the battlefield. And this is going to really stack with so many other things. I've used the bond skills to great effect in other builds before, so this is a great source of that particular skill if you've been looking for it. Otherwise, it's going to serve us super well. And then this is also the introduction of the Feint series of skills, starting off with Speed Feint. Now here's what this does, and I do need to take a small aside to talk about this skill. Whenever you either rally somebody or you get rallied by somebody, what happens is that in the cardinal directions of you, all your enemies take a -7 penalty to speed. This is sort of like a ploy, except for 2 things. Well, 3 really. One, it happens in the middle of a turn. It doesn't care about resistance anymore. Ploy only happens if the resistance requirement's met. This it happens in the middle of the turn as long as Tharja gets some type of an assist rally. The third thing is this is computationally more complex than what a ploy is. It has the same problems that a ploy has, where you have to line things up and you have to know where the enemy is moving. But other ploys end up having it easy. You can know that enemies are going to end up in a certain way. Here you have to worry about the positioning of your teammates because they have to help you trigger it. I just don't like it. I really don't like Speed Feint. I will give it an honorable mention in a build up ahead, but I don't like it. If you're going to fodder her off for anything, you're going to fodder off Tharja for that speed and attack bond, which is really great numbers. And yeah, so she could really ratchet things up there. I mean, you have your assist, you have the pseudo alto buff going on there. And, I mean, those other people are going to probably be throwing other buffs onto her as well. There's really no reason not to have 2 people supporting her at all times. But as we go into these full builds we're about ready to show you here, and they're quite impressive. This is the mage I have been looking for in Red for such a long time, and I am so happy it's here. Everybody who's like, oh, it's another Tharja, ew. Shut up and just get this unit. It is what you need in Red. So, you know what, let me go ahead and just go right to this first full build here. And this is what I'm running on my Tharja for the next arena season. I hope it's something that you would like. Let's talk about the B slot first. We're going to go ahead and get rid of any kind of self buff or any kind of debuff or anything like that, and we're going to put in Guard. Guard is going to save your bacon so many times. You just can't do your job right if you're charging other people's specials. And in this particular meta in the arena, and with different Grand Hero Battle units that don't start completely charged but have like only 1 charge left to go, you need to just let that special linger. And so this lets you get there. Now, I have a AoE as the special on this particular build, and that is really great, but it's important to note about this is that, first of all, if you're going to go for arena points, yeah, you're going to go with Aether. That's just a given, not even going to address it. That means, though, that this build, initially, until I talk to you about why this is here, is going to perform exactly the same if you had Aether as if you did the this AoE. So that's actually really good, and the AoE isn't garbage points for Arena, so that's really helpful there. Let's walk into the obituaries, talk about the DPT, Deltran's PvP threat list, link down the doobly-doo to find out those units there so you can use them in your own computations. This is really simply a win and loss record on initiation and when initiated on of a specific curated list of units that I have made up, that are made up of prominent threats and very popular units within the meta in the arena. So that way we could talk about things a little bit easier. And so her initial thing here I'm going to show you that's flying by right now, the 14 and 7, that is without benefiting from her bond skill or from her tome. Okay, so those numbers that are mediocre, yeah, they're garbage because of that. Let's go ahead and talk about what happens once you get into the range where you actually have all these buffs going on. Now, like I mentioned before, there's no reason for you not to have 2 people buffing you at all times. I'm not going to assume support, I'm not going to assume that they have any other buffs, but I am going to assume that you have 2 people there, and typically whenever I have a bond skill, I assume that that's being activated. This first set of stats did not show that. That is really the worst case, and you're still killing some good people. Not that they're good people, I'm sorry, you're killing bad people, but they're good units to kill, and you know what, never mind. So once you have the 2 people next to you and you have the bond skill activated, 33 out of 39 people on the DPT you are killing. It's so wonderful. And this is actually where I'll talk about the shtick of this, using that AoE. You're going to have that charged after this first initiation because you're going to have yourself buffed. You have the heavy blade seal on there, and so what you're going to do is be able to walk right into these fights, have that charged up, and it doesn't matter how damaged you are. First of all, you survived all the heavy, you survived Zelgius, okay? You're able to go ahead and initiate and kill him. That's important. So now that you have all of that going for you, you have this AoE charged up, you can go up there, you can smack somebody with the AoE, you're going to kill the person you're attacking because you basically got a double tap on them for free without getting any retaliation. In addition to that, the attack smoke is going to go ahead and weaken everybody around there so that you can have somebody come on up and save you by repositioning you out, swap, and maybe people are already in front of you. It doesn't matter, you're protecting your teammates. The only thing to watch out for is the AoEs may put somebody in desperation range or vantage range, and so I do recommend somebody else on your team have the Hardy Bearing Seal. If you've upgraded it to level 3, I don't think you have. I'm pretty confident you haven't. I haven't met anyone who has yet. And I know better, and I still haven't. So, yeah, sorry. But regardless, that is something that you could do, and I would definitely consider looking out for that. So, the other couple of builds I want to talk to you about are variations on this that help do some trade-offs. So, this first one here that I want to talk about, we're getting rid of the AoE and we're going to go ahead and put in Glimmer for the skill that we're talking about using here. And just by switching out the AoE into Glimmer, you have plenty of firepower now to take care of something that was missing from the previous sets of obituaries. You may have noticed, if you're specifically looking for her, you can't kill Myrrh. You can't even just block Myrrh, usually. You have to be very careful. She's probably one of the biggest threats in PvP Arena right now. A flying dragon that has a high BST, she's everywhere. So, switching out for Glimmer lets you do that. That's all you need to do. This is also assuming that you still have everything else. You can take care of other dragons too. You're taking care of Greenbutt before, you can now reliably take out these other dragons that were a problem, which is wonderful. The last setup I want to talk to you about real quick is that you could put in chill speed in place of the B slot here. And now you're not winning against the armors, but you are winning against the dragons still. It's a little weird. I'm not going to go through the whole math because that's boring. But two things. One, yes, speed feint will work here. If you just want to keep speed feint, that's fine. I understand that I know what I'm suggesting. I like the reliability of chill speed over top of speed feint. Speed feint's just way too finicky. I don't trust it. So that's my recommendation. You could keep speed feint, and what this lets you do is it does let you stop being bullied by some of these really weird builds that you could see on some of the dragons, and it just keeps you relevant. It's really nice to do. And like I said, you just lose out on the armor. The last build here, I'm not even going to show a whole build. I'm going to say, yes, she's a wonderful blade tome user. If you don't know what a blade tome user looks like, pick up her vanilla variant and take a look at that, and just fodder everything off of that and put it on your Bridal Tharja here, and you'll be all set. It's not necessarily something I would completely recommend for Arena, to be frank with you. It's going to be great in PvE content. It works very well in PvE content. Having 35 attack and 35 speed, you don't have to choose between what type of a mage you are. If you are trying to do the Blade Tome variant, you can have minus attack. That's the nicest thing about this, is you can have a minus attack IV. Otherwise, you don't want minus attack if you are keeping the posies in your hand, so that you can actually just rely on your speed getting incremented enough because of the bonus that it has, and because of the bonus that you're accruing from the Altome-like effect. And then at that point in time, speed's no longer a limiting factor. Once you get so high with speed, you're not worrying. You're doubling everybody. Adding more speed doesn't get you anything. Adding more attack does. And so that's sort of where the IVs land. So, I mean, if you have that minus attack Tharja and you're like, what do you do with her? Give her a Blade Tome. It's going to patch that up, and you won't even notice. It's really good. Lastly, she does have a set that you can actually consider some enemy phase stuff with, but I kind of sort of just glossed over that. She is so well suited to be a player phase threat that while it's not impossible to make her enemy phase, close counter, all that good stuff, I just don't think it's worth the effort. You're not going to get the same dividends back from building her that way as you are just making her this impressive, power-hungry monster in the player phase. So that's where I stand on that. So that explains my obsession with her. So what are your thoughts on the thought? Let me know down in the comments, and do me a favor, if you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy.